good evening, and welcome back to another podcast. I am going to be talking about 4 different police departments within the state of North Carolina. Right now, I'm going to start with Fayetteville Police Department. For the patrol division, they have a captain, and then it's broken down into, they have 4, no, 2, sorry for that correction. They have 2 day squad lieutenants, and then they have 2 nighttime lieutenants. They have 2 sergeants on day squad, and 2 sergeants on the night squad. On day squad, they have police officers. They have 32, and on night squad, they have 30. They have, for special operations, they have 1 captain, 1 lieutenant, and within the lieutenant's division, there is 5 police officers. And then they have 1 special events lieutenant, and within his department, he has 4 people in that division. And then on the trail / DSVU, they have 1 sergeant over that. And then they have 6 people within that part of the division. School resource officers, they have 1 main sergeant, and then they have 11 officers within that division. And between the investigation division and crime scene tech, within those 2 divisions, they have 6 people in that certain division. And in CIRT, they have 1 sergeant and 8 people in that division. Warrants, 1 sergeant, 1 person, which I don't see how that works out, but that's what it says on the website. And supervisors, they have 22 people in that division. In narcotics, they have 1 sergeant and 1 admin assistant, and they have 4 regular police officers in that division. In SIU, they have 1 sergeant and 6 people on this division. Okay, now I will be moving on to Garner Police Department within North Carolina. And they have a patrol bureau, which they have 1 captain, and then below that, they have 4 different watch commanders. Commander A, Commander B, Commander C, and Commander D, which all of those are lieutenants. And one of them in there is a K9. Okay, and then below that is broken down into A squad, B squad, C squad, and D squad. And all those are sergeants. And then that's also broken down into 1, 2, 3, 4 CPLs. And then within those divisions, an A squad, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And B squad, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then they have 1 K9 on B squad. And then for C squad, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then for D squad, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 within that department. Okay, and then we're going to break down the support services in the different branches within the Garner Police Department. They have community services, which is a lieutenant. And then within community service, 1 spot is vacant. And then the community liaison, they have 1 person. And then they have an animal service officer, which was 1 person. Traffic safety, they have a sergeant. And then TSOs, they have 1, 2, 3, 4 police officers in that division. School crossing guards, they have 2. Chaplains, they have 1, 2, 3. School resource, they have 1 sergeant GMHSSO officers, they have 2. SGHS, they have 2. And then EGMS, they have 1. And NGMS, they have 1. And then going to break it down. And then we're going to break down the criminal investigations. They have 1 lieutenant. Then they have the general investigation. They have 1 sergeant, a captain or a corporal, 1 of those. Investigators, they have 1, 2, 3, 4. Police crime analysts, they have 1. Special investigations, they have 1 sergeant. And then under that, they have investigators, which has 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you have police records manager, which is 1. Senior administrative specialist, 1. Police records specialist, they have 2. And quartermaster, they have 1. And then they have the management analyst, which is 1. No, that's vacant. Then police accreditation, I think that says specialist, they have 1. Fleet coordinator, they have 1. BLET, they have 2. FTEP, they have 3. Training officer, 1. Personnel and training, they have 1. And then 2, they have 2. 1 sergeant and 1 corporal captain. Okay, for Smithfield Police Department, they have the chief of police, and then that's broken down into a captain, deputy chief, civilian division manager. Okay, we're going to start with captain. That's broken down into 3 parts. Part-time officers, animal control, logistics, non-employee. And then we're going to move over to the civilian division manager, records clerk, public safety aide. And then we're going to break down the deputy chief. That's broken down into 4 different things. Patrol lieutenant A and B squad, patrol lieutenant C and D squad. And that's broken down into Sergeant A squad, Sergeant B squad, Sergeant C squad, Sergeant D squad. And then it has the officers, but it doesn't give me any anything like how many officers or whatever for none of these. And then we have investigative lieutenant, which is they have a CID sergeant, narcotics sergeant, CID detective, and then narcotics detectives. And then that's broken down, lieutenant's special operations, that's broken down into school resource sergeant, school resource officer. And then we have canine officers, community policing officers, and interior decker, I don't know how to say that word, sergeant, and then interdiction sergeant, officer. We had the option to pick of our own sheriff office in North Carolina. So I picked the Johnson County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff is Steve Bizzle. Chief Deputy is Jeff Caldwell. Captain Civil, Kelly Garner. Captain Patrol, Rob Runner. Captain CID, Don Pate. Captain Patrol, Brian Clifton. Captain Supportive Services, Mike Walbert. And then we have the Patrol Division. Is made up of 4 different divisions. 4 patrol squads, sheriff aggressive field enforcement team, and 4 canine units. And then I would say the smallest division I think would be the Sheriff's Department, Johnson County Sheriff's Department. The biggest one would be Fayetteville. And then I would say the second biggest would be Garner, and then Smithfield. And like I said before, the Johnson County Sheriff's Office goes in last place. I would say Fayetteville, how they have it set up, would definitely fit the criteria because Fayetteville is a pretty big, is pretty big. But you could always have room for more officers because sometimes there's just never enough hands on deck. Garner, I would say maybe they could use a little bit more. Smithfield, I think they are doing all right for the size, but you also got to look about the turnover rate and the what's that word called, where you get people to become police officers. That turnover rate is not really that high. Okay, and for the second part of this podcast, it says to compare the established CompSat program and the MAX program, New Orleans Police Department. And here's what I have gathered. CompSat, the similarities between the two are both of these programs use data analytics to inform police management decisions. They track trends and guide resource deployments. CAPSET focuses on crime statistics. MAX incorporates crime data as one of many measures. And then they have accountability focus. Each emphasizes accountability in CompSat via commanders answering for crime patterns, and MAX is through a broader set of performance metrics. Both systems use periodic meetings where supervisors and leaders review trends and make management decisions. CompSat holds weekly meetings. MAX meetings occur at multiple levels and include internal and localized discussion. And then for my next question, for the second part, is which of these police management systems do you think is best for a department? I would say MAX. I feel like because it has some or better advantages. I would say it has more accountability, works on internal performances, emphasis of use of force or misconduct, as well as crime results. Public engagement, real-time dashboards allow the public and stakeholders to see data which supports legitimacy and trust. Say it also holds broader performance lens, not just about reducing crime, but improving service quality, transparency, officer conduct, and community trust. And then my next question is, if you were given authority, what would you change about either program? For both programs, I would change, in CompSat, I would change to expand to broader metrics like have response times, community satisfaction, and use of force to rigid a focus on crime counts. Built-in transparency, create public dashboards so stakeholders can observe trends and hold leaders accountable in a balanced way. And for MAX, I would link outcomes to community feedback. Basically, with that being said, I would have community perception surveys, and that way you would get a direct answer and input, and I feel like that would be useful in a way. And last but not least, if I were the chief or sheriff of an agency, which of these programs would you implement and why? if I were the chief or sheriff of any department of agency, I would choose the Max model. I say that because it allows leaders to see the whole picture of police operations, not just crime numbers. Transparency and trust, real-time public access to data foster a greater accountability and community engagement. Plus, it has many contemporary challenges. Bias concerns, prejudicial justice, service quality are better captured in Max than traditional CompStat. Flexible adaptability. The model can evolve by incorporating new indicators as community needs and police strategies change. Basically, it is flexible and it's adaptable to change